I've got my Harvard shirt on today because we're going to talk about credentials within the management culture. Credentials are a super important aspect of management because the system works that way. You cannot claim to be an expert at anything without the underlying credentials provided by higher education, an institution, by the way, that is highly self centered. Uh, so, unless you have these credentials, you can't function as you would like to function within the culture because the government won't allow it. So, what does that say about people who are gifted? The management culture doesn't recognize gifts because you can't measure them. And that's the problem with science, the science that is used to undergird the management culture. So let me tell you a couple of stories to give you an idea of what I mean. I once knew a woman who was absolutely gifted at counseling people, especially those who were afflicted by addiction, grief. Just she was really quite good at what she did, but she wasn't recognized because she didn't have credentials. And her resolution to that problem was to obtain the easiest PhD that she could possibly find, completely unrelated to her field, solely so that she could use the word doctor in her marketing. And it worked. It's the only way that she was able to advance her business, so to say. So there's a misrepresentation of being a doctor in order to practice what is essentially her gift. The same thing happened when I was in rehab at Bradford at Warrior here in Alabama. I was sent there by doctors who knew me and knew I was a quasi celebrity in the community because I was the news director of a TV station. So they notified the management at Warrior, and I was blessed to be counseled by the head of the whole place, a man named John Nicolini. And let me tell you, friends, John taught me a great deal about myself, and he's the one who made the prescriptions, if you will, for me to follow after I left rehab. But John had a guy working for him who was absolutely stunning in his ability to counsel families going through all this. You have to remember that addiction, alcoholism, these are family diseases because everything about the person who's the alcoholic is reflected in their children, their friends, and the rest extended family members. So uh, when the rehab Bradford at Warrior was sold, the new owners demanded that all of the staff members have the proper credentials to satisfy third party insurance because third party insurance, as I've already told you about, is a real uh, cash cow for credentialed people, especially in the fields of health and medicine. So, my friend John Nicolini had to fire this guy. 25 years he had worked there, putting families back together, and he was let go on the idiotic reason that he didn't have the proper credentials. Now you say, well, Terry, he could have gone out and gotten the credentials, but he didn't. And let me give this disclaimer again. I recognize and appreciate certain credentialed fields. I mean, I wouldn't want to have brain surgery, for example, by a guy who just claimed to be a brain surgeon. I want the best, most qualified there is. So I'm not stupid. I know that credentials are important up to a point. But one of the central tenets of my belief is that we have gone overboard. We've gone too far. And we don't know how to stop ourselves. And that's because we are governed by the management culture. Everything is top down. The top decides everything for those at the bottom. And that, my friends, has been disrupted by the internet because we are all connected horizontally now. So I hope that we're going to figure this out sooner or later. But until we do, credentials are always going to be problematic to me. And of course, who am I? I'm just a commentary, so I could be wrong. Good day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I really would appreciate that. Thank you.